Hi, I'm Dr. Melissa Longo. Welcome to Everyday Rockstar Moms, where every episode I'll interview moms just like you who are rocking it in their homes, raising their children, managing their households, building their careers, working on their relationships, dealing with challenges, finding success, trying to find balance, and themselves along the way. Every episode, you'll hear from women just like you of all ages and stages of motherhood, sharing their stories, life experiences, and leaving you with practical tips, ideas, and inspiration to help you rock your life. Hey moms, today I want to talk about the holiday season. Now, I don't know about you, but I love the holiday season. What I don't love is the hustle and bustle and the stress that sometimes goes along with it. And I certainly see this in my practice a ton as well. So today what I want to do is give you some tips for the holiday season. You know, there was a time when, as much as I loved the idea of the holidays, I didn't enjoy it as much. And it's not because I don't love the food, the family, the fun, but because it sometimes became overwhelming. And I know it's not just me. You know, 60% of North Americans say they stress that they won't get everything done before Christmas. You know, frequent questions I hear every day in the office include, you know, are you ready for Christmas? And have you finished all your shopping? And there's this urgency and this stress that sometimes becomes attached to those questions, even though they're well-meaning. What I realized over time was that some of the overwhelm I was feeling was just me. You know, it was the pressures I was putting on myself to make everything perfect, you know, to bake a ton of amazing cookies, participate in every event we were invited to expose my sons to all the fun stuff that was going on, and to make every single one of their wishes from Santa come true. Basically, trying to meet everyone's needs and expectations absolutely perfectly, which is a sure setup for disappointment and fatigue. And what I also notice in the practice and in my personal life is that moms tend to take on more of this during the holiday season. So what I want you to do is give yourself a few minutes right now to think about some of the things we're going to talk about. And most importantly, start thinking about maybe some few things that you can change, because, you know, doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting things to change or expecting a different result is insanity. So if you've been feeling at all overwhelmed, feeling tired, not excited about the holidays, or feeling like you've got too many things on your plate, I challenge you to consider the following points and possibly make a few adjustments to your life, and you might find that you enjoy the holidays a little bit more this season. So, my top 5 tips for you for staying healthy through the holidays. Number 1 is I'd like you to set an intention. You know, what's happening in your life these days? What ages are your children at? Given their interests currently, you know, what do you want the holidays to look like for you and your family? Maybe you have something really specific planned. Maybe, you know, there's some people in your life who are having a really difficult time. Maybe you're grieving the loss of a loved one. Maybe there's been a huge change in your home or work life. Every year is different, you know? So what I want you to do is decide what you want this year's holidays to mean. So 2016, what is this going to look like for you and your family? Maybe come up with a few key words that will really help, you know, in a nutshell, remind you of what you want the next, you know, 6 weeks to look like. How do you want to feel? You know, and then the biggest piece that I want you to remember to do is write this down somewhere. So if you can think of 3 to 5 words or perhaps a few sentences or statements to summarize what the holiday season is going to look like for you, put it somewhere that you can see it. You know, get creative with this. It may look, you can certainly do something that looks really pretty or really decorative. Whatever's going to work for you, basically, so that you're going to see it and be reminded of it every day. If you journal every day, maybe you want to write something in your journal. And every morning, have a minute or a couple seconds even to look at it and to be reminded about what your intention and your focus is going to be for the holiday season. Maybe you're going to make something written on a piece of paper and stick it on your fridge, stick it on your phone. You know, the most important piece of this is that you're actually going to be reminded of it, because sure, you're going to write it down once and it might not sink in. I want you to have a clear and concise plan for what you hope to achieve and feel during the holiday season, so that you can then ground yourself by going back to that intention every time you're entertaining a thought about what event you should attend, what gift you should buy to someone, you know, how do you want to spend your time? This is really important. And for some people, doing this one single step can make a tremendous difference in how they see the whole holiday season. So that's step number 1, set an intention. Step number 2 follows along with setting an intention. Actually, you're probably going to find that each of these tips go back to the first one, but I want you to consider choosing your social time wisely. There's no shortage rather of opportunities for us to engage socially during the holiday season. There's lots of parties, certainly your children will often have festivities at their school, perhaps with their social clubs or sporting clubs they're involved with. Many people are bombarded with social engagements, which can be difficult because you end up being out a lot more, not having as many meals at home, staying up late, and sometimes being around people that drain your energy rather than support you and love you. So I want to remind you that I want you to look at your intention for the season, and then when you have a social commitment or an opportunity to attend something with your family, go back and see if it fits with that intention. And be okay saying no. You don't need to do every single event that you're invited to. It's okay for you to choose which ones fit your children's sleep schedules, fit your personalities, really make the most sense so that you don't horribly upset certain people and loved ones in your family. We can't get into the details of each and every one of your commitments with your families, and certainly some of the dramas that some people in our life can create in the holiday season. And if that's you, just know that you're not alone. There is no shortage of people complaining about their commitments they have to attend this holiday season, and I don't want you to be one of them. So be okay saying no and being selective where you want to spend your time. You don't need to give people elaborate reasons why. Sometimes that's just not going to work for us this year. And leave it at that. Be confident in making those choices for your family because you know it's the healthiest thing for you and your loved ones. Similarly, I want you to think about reaching out and giving your time to other people as a way to socialize. Volunteering and giving back to people who are less fortunate than us, gives us back so much, as well as it gives to the people who are benefiting from our time, whether it's, volunteering at a soup kitchen or to donate some items to a charity. There's no shortage of these in any of your communities. I encourage you to reach out and find out what resonates with you, what's going to fit maybe your particular skill set or your family life. It's an awesome thing to involve your children in as well, and certainly something that's on our list this year. That's your second tip, is choose your social time wisely and try to give back your time. And now I know, moms, time is at a premium during these 4 to 6 weeks, but I want you to still consider giving a little bit of your time to others, and just trying to look at how that can support you. And you never know how that might impact your children and you moving into the new year, as far as potentially meeting some new people or finding a new organization that means something to your heart. Tip number 3 is move your body. Now, it's no surprise that December is often one of the times when gyms are a little bit less full because of people's time commitments and shortage of time. People neglect their workouts. You don't need to do this. You also don't need to be in a gym to still move your body. So give yourself permission and give yourself some grace if you do get off your routine, your normal routine, because you will get back on it once the holiday season is over. But I'm going to remind you that you don't need to be with a trainer or in a gym to still be getting the benefits of physical activity. A simple walk, a walk every day. There are definitely some workouts you can do in the comfort of your own home that don't take any time. Maybe, as you're watching this television or a movie or something, you could just do some stretching. That's certainly when I find time to stretch or do some mobility work. You can always try to walk a little bit more. You can always, if you're interested, grab one of those free apps that you can download really quick, 7 to 10 minute, 12-minute workouts that you can do. I'm a huge fan of HIIT training, high intensity interval training. There's lots of great apps that I often recommend. One is the 7-minute workout. It's a combination of different strength exercises and a few plyometrics that, you can always fit in 7 minutes. I've often done this workout while, waiting for dinner to warm up, or, other tasks around the house. I've just scooted over to, when I have a little bit of space, and do the quick workout. Find time to move your body. It'll clear your head. It'll keep your circulation moving. It'll keep your lymphatic system moving, which will help with some of those stress hormones and also keep flushing toxins through your body the way they should be. Certainly, the colder months for most of us are considered cold and flu season. We'll get into that in potentially another episode. But, it is a time when many people are a little less healthy than they should be because of their schedule, because of the lack of sleep, because of the food choices that they're making. So, moving your body is going to be a great way to try to keep that momentum going. That's tip number 3. Tip number 4 is sort of along the lines of what I just said about eating. It's easy for people to get off track with their eating habits, and maybe some of you don't even have any great eating habits, and I'm going to encourage you to rethink that certainly anytime, but in the new year. The food you put in your body makes a tremendous difference in how you function and how you feel. And certainly if you're eating foods that don't fuel you, that are going to drain you, you're going to feel more sluggish. You're going to feel more congested. You're going to maybe feel more bloated, have lots more digestive issues. So I want you to consider, eating regularly throughout the holiday season. Don't be skipping meals if you know you're going to a party in the evening. That's one of the worst things you can do. If you skip meals, you're often more likely to overindulge once you get to the party. Plus, if you're going to be consuming any alcoholic beverages, if you're doing so on an empty stomach, we all know what's going to happen. You're more likely to feel the effects of the alcohol a little quicker. And that can be an embarrassing and not non-healthy event all in itself. So when you're at functions, when you're at parties, be sure to choose the foods you're eating, choose your bites wisely. Eat what you like. You don't have to try everything. And be sure to load up on lots of veggies, some good protein, and don't be hard on yourself if you do enjoy some of the holiday cookies or the festive, treats that are more calorie laden, like eggnog and fancy drinks and warm beverages. Again, keep everything in moderation if you can, and try to balance any activity, any food that you're consuming with some regular activity. It's common for people to gain 5 pounds during the holiday season. And even during the winter months, because some people tend to be less active. Don't be too hard on yourself about this, moms, if this is you, but just focus on making the best choices that you can for yourself during these few weeks so that it doesn't become out of control for you. Be sure to drink lots of water. Be sure to be maintaining your supplementation if you're taking vitamin D, your omega-3s, your good essential fatty acids. Those are also great to keep up during this time of year. If you are drinking, another tip that I have for you is to, try to focus on clear mixes. Try to put ice in your drinks if possible. As they melt, they will slightly dilute the beverage and make sure that you're hydrating a little bit more, and also dilute the effects of the alcohol and the sugars. There's lots of different drinks that you can enjoy and ways to indulge and feel great without overdoing it. So be aware of what you're putting in your body and make good choices. The final tip I have for you moms is to rethink your gifting. How much stuff do we really need? There's a huge movement. Maybe this movement's been going on for quite some time, but it seems to be in my world these days about minimalism and really getting, considerate of the items that we're purchasing and the things that we're bringing into our homes and not accumulating stuff. This is something that's been close to my heart for, the last few years, really, with my children, when I realized, God, they're growing up so fast. And what I want more for them is time with them, time and fun experiences. When I think back on my own childhood and I think back on the most memorable gifts that I ever received, it was the years that my family took a ski holiday and their memories that were built doing that. It's the memories that I have of the time together, eating delicious food and having some laughs. And sometimes we play, crazy games like charades or Pictionary or, all the new versions that are around these days. I don't remember the specifics about the items that I get, but I can tell you I remember the specifics about how I felt during some of those trips that we took or some of the experiences that we had. So since then, every year with my sons, we focused on an experience. One year I gave them the opportunity to choose between going to a resort for a couple of days. It was Great Wolf Lodge here in Canada, a huge indoor water park, I'm sure many of you know, or, some toys. And I'll never forget it. They were adorable. They ran down the hall and had a little, very important conference about it. And they came back and said, we want to go to Great Wolf Lodge. And so that's what we did. We went in January, and their Christmas gifts were small little tokens, but I spent the majority of the money I was going to spend on gifts for them on taking them on that trip. And since then, we've done trips to New York City for a couple of days. We've done trips to Ottawa. My son loves the Montreal Canadiens. So one year we went to Ottawa and we were able to catch a Canadiens game. And we took a couple of days to go skating on the Rideau Canal and just visit some of the museums there. We made it into a little adventure for us. This year, we've still got a few things that we're working on. We've already booked a ski holiday for all 6 of us in our family, my 2 stepchildren, my husband, and my 2 sons and I. And again, the idea is to spend some time together and create some memories. So I'm going to just encourage you to think about the gifts you're giving your children, your loved ones. Consider giving gifts of experience. Shopping close to home, maybe supporting small businesses in your area. Spend money on friends and events and time together and maybe a little less stuff. That's it, mums. I've given you 5 tips today. Hopefully, some of them will resonate with you and you'll find some value. We're talking about setting an intention for the holidays, what you want the holiday season to look like for your family, how to choose your social time wisely. Remember to move your body and eat regularly and prepare for outings and don't skip meals. And finally, rethink your gifting and how you're spending your money on tokens of appreciation for your loved ones. I've applied a lot of these tips myself for the last few years, and I can honestly say that I do get excited about the holidays. I don't feel stressed. And for us, it's truly a time of celebration for everything that we've done in the past year and things that we're looking forward to in the year to come. I hope you and your families have a wonderful holiday season, and whatever you celebrate, whatever holiday you celebrate, and that you will take value in some of these tips and be healthy heading into the new year. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Be sure to head on over to iTunes and subscribe to the podcast so that you don't miss out on any future episodes. When you do that, I'll be sending you a copy of my top 10 tips for moms. These are some of my personal practical strategies I believe that as women we can all benefit from and help us be emotionally and physically as healthy as we can be. When you're also there on iTunes, I would also love it if you left a review. It's really important to leave some reviews because that helps other people find the podcast and it helps inspire them to listen and potentially gain some insight from the podcast. Tell other moms that you know would benefit from this show, or most certainly nominate them and let me know who you think I should be interviewing. I'd love for you to connect with us on Facebook as well. Head on over to Everyday Rockstar Mom and join our community there. Thanks so much for joining us today. We'll see you next time.